Okay, so I've started dating somebody, and it's been very interesting how he's approaching some of the concepts. In the last video, I talked about chemistry versus feeling feelings and thinking, oh, like I've got a soul connection or like I'm meant to be with a person. So I kind of mentioned how, like I'll have feelings and I want to express them. And, how do you express them? What does it look like to express them in a way that is, not putting so much weight onto another person or onto the relationship? Anyway, he sent me a message. I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is like exactly the kind of, so it's a message that communicates that he's, interested and he's, into me and whatever, but it's not coming from this codependent place where he's making me responsible for his happiness or like that we have like this epic connection or whatever. Okay, so let me scroll back through. I have to scroll back through some unicorn videos. I dressed up in an inflatable unicorn costume for my friend's daughter's birthday. Okay. Did I go too far? OMG. I did. Okay, wait. Okay, here it is. He says, I know we just met, but I do think our relationship has the strong possibility to be something really special. I was drawn to you from the first time I met you. I'm really looking forward to growing what we have and learning everything about you. So there's this thing that I did with two past relationships, which was me. I would be feeling like very strong feelings towards a person, and they might be feeling really strong feelings towards me. And with my ex, it was coming from a very codependent place. Like we were both like really vulnerable and like carrying like all of the weight of our emotional wounding with us everywhere. And, processing, particularly with my ex, we were processing like our pain or our situation or whatever it was with each other. Like, so this guy too has also, had a, like, traumatic childhood and some very, very not okay experiences for children to have. Maybe not some great relationship experiences. And so, he's come through kind of on the other side of that. So we're both in a very similar place in our lives. So we're both like very healed. We do have this background, but it's not driving the car anymore. Ooh, and by the way, can I just say, like, that's amazing. To be, I remember back and then I see the comments, when we're still in that space of like, our pain is driving the car. Holy shit. Like, it is possible to not be there anymore. And it feels amazing. Like, even when I was happy, like, in the background, the pain was driving the car. And not having to be in that space anymore. Like, it's such a nice place to be. Now, I will say, I don't know, usually in the literature, I've seen, people talk about like how healthy relationships won't be as intense as, let's say, unhealthy ones. I am noticing that I don't feel as strongly for this person as I felt for my ex. But I sort of felt addicted to my ex. So I don't know. I did love, there's a reason we stay in problematic relationships, and I did love a lot of how we related to each other emotionally. Even if it was coming from this like wounded place, it was very intense and passionate, and I kind of don't think that I will feel for anybody the way I feel for him. And I am acknowledging and feeling like there's this piece of me that's thinking, oh, he's, the love of my life or something. But we don't want to be in that place of, in a relationship that's like actively hurting us. My dad, I think, felt about my mom that she was the love of his life, but like they were both mentally not healthy and they couldn't be together. He was never really he tried, I think, with one more person, and then hasn't been with anybody since. My mom started dating some guy that she felt meh about. I got married to him, and but she was like really intense with him at the beginning, and then they got in a relationship and married, and then she just kind of checked out. And it's like, no, man, that's not the answer either, so I will say that I don't know kind of going forward what the emotional landscape would be. I'm very happy with this person. It's very easy to be with them. We're on the same page. We have a lot of the same goals. And, I deeply trust him, which is, very important. So there's like an amazing foundation. And so I don't know what it would look like to go forward. Obviously, things are very early on. And so not, I was talking in another video about not getting it so emotionally invested in the beginning. So it may just be, that's what this is. And then as I get further in the relationship, I get more emotionally invested. It's very hard not to know. Like, you want to know about a person. You want to know, how you're going to feel with them. He nailed it. He's talking about growing what we have. And so that's a very different mindset. I did like in my last relationship, that I knew exactly how I felt about this person. And it was, it was like my whole heart was like cracked wide open. But we're not doing that. It's just not healthy right now. So it would make sense that I'd be like, oh, I really like him, but I don't, feel all the same types of feelings. So there's the opportunity that it's going to grow in the future. There's this thing, so we're doing homeschooling, because my son's school is, they're doing remotely. And when I have him over and he's with me, so we split time between him and his father. When I have him over and he's with me, I haven't been answering his questions. Like, Dad kind of swoops in and like fixes things and does stuff. And I've been like, no, think about it, or ask your teacher or whatever. Because if he were in school, like, I wouldn't be there. And he got so frustrated. He was like, Mama, why aren't you answering my questions? And I actually made a whiteboard of why not. You can't really see it. Okay, at the top, we talk about how learning is a skill. And then I go into like detailed bullet points. Anyway, but basically though, the idea is that, so hold on, let me put that. So the bullet points are, that he gets a chance to experience frustration. He gets to get practice at feeling the feeling and managing, his emotional response. He gets the opportunity for problem solving. He learns that he doesn't need to know everything, and that's okay. That he learns the process of figuring things out. That he's utilizing his resources. So he's thinking it through. He's looking for context clues. He's checking the materials. He's asking his teacher. And then related to that is that he's then building a relationship with his teacher. So he is having to not know, and then what does that feel like when we don't know, and what does that, how do we move forward when we don't know an outcome, or we don't know an answer, or whatever, so it's like, it doesn't just apply to him, it applies to me, it applies to us. Not having uh, low anxiety tolerance or low knowledge tolerance, being able to be in a situation and go, okay, I don't know where this is going to go, but I trust myself to find the answers or show up for myself or, get help if I need it. And I think that's really important. So, there's a lot of thinking. Oh, another thing. Okay, so my relationship with my ex, I did not feel like he was into me at all. And it was very I didn't realize how soul destroying that was kind of being for me. Because I don't like a lot about my body. I've kind of been shifting my perspective around that. But it also doesn't help to be with a person who literally never. That's not true. He would talk about oh, you have porcelain skin and stuff like that, but I didn't get a sense that he wanted my body. I mean, and that's if he's not into it, that makes sense. I think a lot of his attraction to me was my energy and that I'm really physically affectionate. That seems to be a thing a lot of people like about me. And it always makes me wonder if people aren't getting enough touch in life. But anyway, so I went from that to this new person who is, very into, he thinks I'm beautiful, and he tells me all the time, you're so incredible, you're beautiful, you're whatever the compliments are. And I do notice this thing inside me where I'm oh, this doesn't feel I don't know what to do with them. And I'm trying to just take it in and, even if it makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes, to accept it with grace, I guess. And, but yeah, no, he's super into my body and he lets me know. That feels amazing. And it's totally not been in my life, in kind of a hot minute it's been in my life with other guys, but not with my ex. And I, especially when, my ex and this guy, they are straight up hotties. Abs for days, and it's just I'm going why are you interested in me? I'm I'm mashed potatoes. Anyway, so but I'm having this experience, this very transformational experience for me, which is that, I'm finally recognizing that who I am does really inform my attractiveness to people, and I didn't really have a strong idea of that. But frankly, historically speaking, Cleopatra wasn't, from what I remember reading about her, Cleopatra wasn't actually particularly beautiful or anything, but guys wanted her. Historically, guys would fall all over themselves for her, and whether or not that was because she was in a position of power that they also wanted to be with, or it could just be she was really magnetic and charismatic. Bill Clinton is not a particular, at least not now. Maybe when he was younger, but he's not a particularly good looking person, but he's got sexual appeal all day long when he's interacting with people individually. He's just mesmerizing. It can be that how we interact with people can really affect if they find us, beautiful or attractive or sexy or whatever. So anyway, I'm really kind of conceptualizing other people are having a different experience of who I am because of how I am. And obviously it's good to be aware of that. And so when, if we're ever telling ourselves so much negative stuff, it's okay to recognize that somebody else is going to, have a different experience with us because they're a different person. They want different things. This person I'm dating, he used to do MMA. He could go well, if he wanted to be dating a certain kind of person, he would already be dating them, he waited for a very specific kind of person and connection. And, that's, I gotta respect that. Anyway, hopefully this makes sense. You guys are having a great night, or really early morning. And I'll talk to you next time.